Calls for a boycott of the Oscars are growing tonight after director Spike Lee and actress Jada Pinkett Smith took the opportunity on Martin Luther King Day to suggest that's exactly what they'll be doing at the Oscars this year, boycotting it. The stars and many others are upset over the lack of any African-American nominees, a situation the Academy has found itself in before. But not everyone seems to agree on how to respond. Trace Gallagher live in our West Coast newsroom. Trace?
Megyn, not only are the acting nominees all white, the only minority nominated in any major category is the Hispanic director of The Revenant, Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. Aside from Spike Lee and Jada Pinkett Smith's boycott, there is growing pressure for this year's host, Chris Rock, to bow out. Rock has made fun of the all-white selections, but has given no indication he'll quit. Al Sharpton believes the best way to protest is to tune out. Listen.
Sometimes when people's profit is touched, it leads to them turning around and changing their minds about institutional neglect and institutional exclusion.
Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs blames her own members, saying, quote, "We have implemented changes to diversify our membership in the last 4 years, but the change is not coming as fast as we would like." Actor George Clooney thinks the problem starts way before the Oscar ballot box, saying, quote, "I don't think it's a problem of who you're picking as much as it is how many options are available to minorities in film, particularly in quality films." Boys in the Hood director John Singleton, the first black director ever nominated, says he doesn't have a problem with the nominations lacking diversity. Quoting again, "There's only so many slots. There are a couple of movies that may have warranted attention, but it's all subjective," though Singleton does think Straight Outta Compton should have been nominated. And Will Smith's former Fresh Prince of Bel-Air co-star Janet Hubert took a swipe at Jada Pinkett Smith, saying, quote, "Our boys are being shot left and right. People are hungry. People are starving. And you're talking about some blanking actors and Oscars." Megyn.
Trace, thank you. Joining me now, political commentator Lisa Durden and Fox News contributor and executive director of theblacksphere.net, Kevin Jackson. Good to see you both.
Thank you, Megyn.
Lisa, let me start with you on this. Your take on whether Spike and Jada have it right.
Hashtag Oscars so white is right. I am very thrilled that Jada Pinkett Smith and director Spike Lee called for the boycott of the 2016 Oscars. Not only is it very apropos, but it's a great first start. However, I also agree that this is not enough. Whoopi Goldberg said today that we need to stop having this big brouhaha every year around Oscar time, and I agree with her. We should do this all year round. My suggestion is we keep our $10 in our pocket and away from the box office. We need to hit Hollywood where it hurts, keeping butts out of seats. That's the power. That's when Hollywood would wake the hell up.
Well, what do you make of it, Kevin?
Too bad Hollywood doesn't have a metaphorical bus that Rosa Parks can get on right now. I got to tell you, this is so funny to me. Jada Pinkett is mad because her husband didn't get an Oscar for a movie about guys that run at each other at 25 miles an hour getting concussions. Spike Lee did Chi-Raq, and he's upset because he wants to bring attention to a real problem in Chicago. But it's, you know, I didn't see the film, but it, you know, it probably was more of a biopic more than anything. And what was funny, the guy who wanted an Oscar for Selma happens to be a Brit who stole a job from a black man here in the United States, and he's mad that people don't want to give homage to a film, yet another film about Martin Luther King and how bad it is for black people in America. Look, they got to make better films than what they're making. Snoop Dogg chimed in on it. What, does he want an Oscar for the movie Soul Plane? Hollywood has been doing this for decades. Yeah, Hollywood's been doing this for decades. And what's interesting, Lisa and Megyn, the people who are accepting money for this, the sellout blacks, haven't said a word. They wait until Oscar time to say, hey, listen, guys, let me put you on the spot when you accept your Oscar for doing great work because we didn't see enough people of color.
What about it, Lisa? Because, okay, so if there aren't enough roles for African Americans in Hollywood, and that's sort of built into the system, then who do you, because now we come to Oscar time, should that just be a fair competition, fair and square? Should race enter into it?
Megyn, Kevin named some films he thought weren't so good. There are a bunch of piss poor white actresses, piss poor white directors, piss poor white producers for a century, almost 100 years, who've been being nominated and winning for bad performances. So we can't go there. We can't go there, Kevin. Stop playing that game.
But why are people,
Hey,
you know,
well,
Kevin, of course,
Lisa,
Chris Rock is black, and he is hosting the Oscars.
And
so
he's going to kill, by the way. He's going to rip them.
well, a lot of people are saying he should.
Go ahead.
He should go hard.
Let me
or
tell
go
you
home.
what. Let me tell you what. Chris Rock is going to host the Oscars, knowing what he knows. He's going to take that check. And here's the other thing, Lisa, that you probably haven't thought about. Why don't black people go start their own Hollywood? The Indians have Bollywood. Go start Blollywood.
Are
if
you
you
serious,
want to do
Kevin?
something and you're mad
Are
about
you
it, yes, I'm
serious?
serious. Yes, I'm serious. Hey,
Well,
let me
I
ask
can't.
you this.
We're going to have to leave it at
What
Bollywood.
about Tyler Perry? What about Tyler Perry, who makes his own films? Singleton's been out there for a while.
I gotta go, but you've left us with a lot to think about. It's great to see you
We
both.
need a town hall meeting,
Great to see you both.
Megyn. We need